Hello, everyone. I have the pleasure of being joined by the Ariston. Well, I say the Ariston, but in the end, it's one member
Just
of the
one of us.
Ariston.
Yeah, yeah.
Something
Thank you
went
very
wrong.
much.
We were planning to talk to the whole band, but yeah, the others have been caught up. They're busy.
Exactly. Yeah, they've been called up for a few things, coming up with some projects that we're working on. So
Okay.
so yeah, but thank you
So we
so
got
much for having
Luca.
me. This is
We
great.
got Luca, the frontman. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you,
It's
mate. Thank you
good
very
that
much
at
for
least
having
one
me.
of you wasn't busy. Um, so I want to start from the name first. And
Mm,
I'm curious to ask you why you call yourselves, why the band is named after a gas boiler that breaks down all the time.
brilliant. So yeah, we get that comparison quite often. So Ariston, it started pretty much as it's Will. Will came up with the idea. Will's our bassist.
Okay.
And he came up with the idea. So his first memory of listening to music was he was sat in his living room with his dad, and he used to have a vinyl player,
Hmm.
and on it used to say Ariston Acoustics.
Okay.
And then every time his dad found a new record that he liked or a new track that he liked, he'd say, "Oh, that's one for the Ariston."
Okay.
So now the thing is with us that we are now providing the music.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
So you are the Ariston that provides the music.
Exactly. Just
Uh,
like the vinyl player was the thing for him. Yeah. So that was I thought it was quite a cool little name
I
he came
guess
up with.
it's like that he had an Ariston because I mean you could be called the Amstrad or I don't know what.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's just literally could have, it's whatever it could have been on the side of it. It just happened to be
Or if you had a professional turntable, you could have been the techniques.
the techniques. Yeah, yeah, as well.
That would
Yeah,
have been good. But
yeah.
in
Something.
fact,
Yeah, I like that.
Ariston is a Greek word that means excellent in terms of performance. When you've done the best possible, it's commonly used, typically for a student that has all the highest grades.
Yeah.
So it turns out to be a good name. I don't know if you knew that when you picked the name.
No, when we picked the name, no, but we did. We have obviously since done a bit of research, and that obviously is an actual thing. So it's sort of very fitting, I suppose, to the whole situation with the
Yeah.
band and performance, and I mean that's like the biggest thing for us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, we're now talking a few days after your set at the Grace, where you supported M60.
yeah.
Um, my head was buzzing for a couple of days, but it was worth it. I think you
I'm
guys had
sure it
an
was so
Ariston
loud,
show.
so loud.
I think you had an Ariston show. How
Sure.
was it from your side?
Oh yeah, no, it was wicked. So M60, obviously a band from Manchester, and that was their first. Well, they asked us to support, which was really cool, really nice of them because they got some wicked tunes. But it was the first time that they've come to London and sold out a venue. Um, so it was a really fun, cool night. Obviously, it was very very loud. And I've actually seen some of your videos that you posted.
Yeah.
They popped up and they look it looks cool. It looks class, man. It was really fun night. We had a blast. We played some of our favorite songs to perform.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, it was good. It was good. It was good. Really, really good.
I guess you kind of needed that show because you had your headline shows at the end of the year, 2023. The last few months you didn't have too many shows, is that right?
Yeah, yeah. We sort of dialed them down a little bit recently because we're obviously working on so much at the moment. I'm doing like some acting stuff at the side as well, so there's lots of exciting things to come. But we thought we dialed down the shows, so when we come back and do our next headline show, it will make a massive thing out of it, and we've been lucky enough to have been asked to support some like wicked bands as well. So it's just all sort of all built. It's all building up to like a climax. Hopefully, at the end of the year, we'll have like a really big headline show, and yeah,
You also had a semifinal on Saturday.
Yeah,
First of all, congratulations for going all the way to the semi-final. It
thank
was
you.
for the New Blood competition for the Isle of Wight festival.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, how was the experience?
Again, it was a brilliant show. Um, Obviously with things like that, you don't really know what to expect from other bands and stuff. Um, but the band, everyone was amazing, and it was nice to meet everyone because a lot of what what I didn't realize is that a lot of our fans are obviously also fans of all of these other bands that we'd not have necessarily heard of, but it's sort of like all it's a really really tight knit community, I suppose,
Mhm.
and everybody knows everyone. So we got to finally then meet those people. And obviously, we weren't lucky enough to go through to the next one, but it was a cool experience. The show went really well, and it was really well received. So I'm not worried about the
Yeah,
ultimate result. It was just a cool night, and we had a good time.
yeah. I mean, technically, there is still a chance to play at the Isle of Wight. Is that right?
Yeah, technically yes, and we've been asked. So there are lots of people that are sort of affiliated with Isle of Wight, um, and there's a wild card thing. So there's a chance that another band can still go through
Mhm.
straight to the final, which is obviously the next round, um, through this wild card thing, and we'll just have to see what happens with that. But fingers crossed, I suppose, because it's an amazing festival to be part of.
I
Yeah.
know in August you will be running to the festival on the Meadows.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
The Meadows Festival that's looking to be really really cool. Um, I think the full lineup for that comes out
this Friday, yeah.
this
So
Friday. Yeah, yeah, it's this Friday.
when we're speaking, it's not announced. It will be announced very soon.
Oh,
Um,
sure.
I just happen to know there will be some really, really good names there. So
Oh, for
I
sure.
think you
100%.
definitely have very good company there.
Definitely. And it's run by um a couple of friends of ours as well. So it was really cool. They were like, yeah, we really, really want you guys to be on the bill, and they've liked our tracks for a little while, which is really nice of them. So they asked us to come and play. Yeah, it should be a wicked thing. Festivals are all about the like, but, they're about exposure and introducing yourself to a new crowd, which I think is so important for bands that are still starting out.
Yeah.
It's a chance to get your music out there for sure.
I see an Italian dictionary behind you. I know you have some
Yes,
Italian heritage and will as well. I mean,
yes, indeed.
Luca
Yeah,
sounds like an Italian name.
yeah,
That's quite obvious.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
tell me about that.
So I'm part Sicilian.
Hmm.
I've got quite a lot of family in Sicily. Um, and it's funny. The other day, I was because my spoken Italian is it's not great,
Okay.
which I can admit it's not great, but um, I can understand everything. So I was trying to sort of like work out if I can write a song in Italian. I was giving it a little go. It didn't go very well, but um, yeah, that's something I'm actually quite interested in, trying to write stuff in other languages and stuff. Because I mean, it's part of my family, part of my heritage.
Yeah.
We actually went out to Italy to record a demo track of a song that we have performed like loads of times, Blackout,
Okay.
which is like we've got a little demo of that, which was really fun. We got to like spend the week in Italy, and it was just a bit of a laugh. Really, we had this really nice house to ourselves and stuff. We had like a swimming pool. It was brilliant. We had a great time.
So
Yeah,
the whole band went together and
yeah,
you kind
yeah.
of
We all went
showed
together.
them
It was
around,
brilliant.
I guess.
Yeah, I got to do that as well because obviously that was the first time we'd ever been there together.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that was really cool. That was a really fun experience
Okay.
as well.
You talked about songwriting and Italy, and there is a song called Simona. Simona sounds like an Italian name. Is there a real Simona?
There is a real Okay, so there's a bit of a story when it comes down to this. So Simona is a real person.
Okay.
Simona is actually the name of my mother.
Oh, okay.
Um, but the song, for the most part, was written by Will. So whenever somebody asks, so what's the story behind Simona? What's the deal with that? I'm like, well, Will wrote it, but it's not about my mum. I mean, it sounds like it's about my mum, so it's a bit of a weird, bit of a funny situation. But Simona is effectively like a she's like she I think she's a made up she's a concept of what a person can be. Um uh and well, the reason why it's called Simona is because Will was like, well, it was initially called Luca's song because I came up with like the first idea of it, and he was like, well, that sounds a bit awful. So then what sounds like a cool
And
thing,
that's okay.
right? You know?
Yeah.
So we didn't have a name for it, and then it sort of moved on to what sounds a bit more, I don't know, edgy. So it was like Simone's song. No, that sounds cool because Simone is a cool name. Obviously, Simone is my mother. So I've always like, what if we go with the name that your mum goes by, Simona? So that was how Simona came about. It's quite a funny story to me. I don't.
There are a few songs that I like to know more about, like Yellow Lines, a song that I really like. And
Thank you.
in general, I like lyrics in which the songwriter sounds totally messed up through the lyrics. And I'm really convinced that this is a song based on a real situation. If you tell me you just made it up, I'll be surprised.
No, it's true. Yeah, it's all complete. Everything that happens in the song is completely true. So I was this is while I was at uni a few years ago, and I had a relationship with this girl, and things sort of went a bit south. There was a party, and things went a little bit south. And my friend that I was meant to be staying at my mate's house, um, and he then wasn't well or something, and he couldn't take me back to his. So I was like, oh, okay, I've no, literally have nowhere to go. I'm thinking I've messed it up with this girl. So I'm sat there, right? I'm sat there literally on the corner of this random street in town. Um, oh, my dog's crying at me. Hello. Um, I'm sat on this random street, and I don't know what to do, and I know her apartment's not too far away. So I'm looking at the street signs and there's a couple of street lights that's all just sort of glaring down on top of me. And there's these yellow lines that were separating me from her apartment. So I was thinking, I just started writing. I was like, I'm sat on a curb. I tried to call her, and she declined the call. She declined the call twice. And I look at the time, and it's like it's 4 a.m. Like it's been a crazy wild night, and I had nowhere to go. I ended up like kipping in a little bus stop. I had a nap in a bus stop because I just had nowhere to stay. It was a nightmare of a situation, but I managed to write the song out of it, I suppose. Yeah.
I mean, this is a good thing. Songs that come from emotions are naturally more powerful, and usually
Sure.
they connect with people. So yeah, sometimes as a songwriter, you have to go through some tough times and come up with a good song.
Exactly. Well, I'm glad you like it. Thank you very much, man.
I'd like to ask you, as a band, how you go about writing songs. Um, you know, for a solo singer-songwriter, there is the luxury to just wait for something to hit you. But how is it for a band? Does someone come up with an initial idea and then you all sit down and work on it together?
So I think for me it's similar to what you said about the solo artist. I mean, I like to write a lot of I write a lot of my stuff in my room upstairs. And 99% of it's nonsense. Um, but every now and then I'll come across a cool idea and I'll record it into my laptop that I'm talking to you from now. And I'll be like, this is quite cool. So then I'll send it to Finn. It's usually Finn or Will first. And I'll be like, do you think this is cool? Is this all right? And they'll be like, yeah. And then we'll forget about it for 2, 3 months, and it's like it never happened. And then I'll play a voice note, and they'll be like, oh, that's really cool. And then we'll sit and then we'll have a little try and have a little play through it, and that's sort of how it all works. I mean, that's what happened with Yellow Lines anyway. I wrote the lyrics obviously, or literally as it happened. I was sat on that corner and I was writing the lyrics to Yellow Lines. Um, and then Tom or Clay, our guitarist, he had a really cool idea for just a normal guitar riff. So I just sang it over the top of it, and that's how it worked.
Okay. So do you think if you write something and then you leave it and you totally forget it, then you listen to it again, does it give you like a different approach, like a fresh approach to the song and how you're going to develop it?
Yeah, sometimes it does. I mean, Amber, which is our favorite song to perform on stage at the moment, uh, that went through a lot of different versions. So it started really acoustic, um, and then we didn't touch that for about a year, or just maybe just under a year, and forgot about it. And then I listened to it again. I was like, okay, I could change this bit. This might sound a bit cooler if I do this. And then Clay wrote the lead guitar part, and it all just sort of worked. And we're like, yeah, this is really cool.
You also seem to have I don't know if this is from Clay or yourself. You have an element of build up at the beginning of songs, like with Amber, Simona, I think Blackout as well.
Hmm.
And I think that in live shows it gets the crowd excited from the beginning.
Yeah,
Um, and I think you probably produce songs with the live shows in mind. Is that right?
100%. All of our songs, we're thinking about what is going to happen at this point of the song. So if we, like you say, we'd like to have the atmosphere. Atmosphere is a big thing for us, because it's so exciting. Every time I've been to a show, I want to see that the build up to the start of it, and I want it to then hit you like a truck when it gets to like the exciting part. So we think about what the audience is going to feel at certain parts of the song, um, which helps my writing process as well, I think, because I'm picturing myself as the audience member, and I think it's something that we work really, really hard on for sure when we're writing.
Okay, we talked about lyrics.
Mm.
I guess there's always a story behind the lyrics. I'm not sure what to expect to hear about Blackout and about I Hate It When You're High.
Right. So Blackout is a funny one. So Blackout, um, again, I wrote after a very questionable night out. Had a few drinks, had way too many to drink, to be honest with you.
Sounds like it from the lyrics.
Right. Um, and it's about wanting to be with someone in that situation and not to be alone, um to hold me down. So just to feel that connection with someone, I suppose, when you've had a rough time and you don't have you've got someone to go back to,
Yeah.
you know. If you when you know at this point in time I didn't. It was just a rough night, and things weren't that good, but it's about wanting um to have that person, that special person to you, to fall back to. And I definitely had someone in mind when I was writing the song. Um, but things with her never really worked out, unfortunately. But yeah,
What about the other one? It sounds a little bit, I don't know.
hate it when you're high.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hate it when you're high. Was actually it's quite an interesting, again, another interesting sort of situation. So hate it when you're high. I had a friend a while ago, um, who told me a story, um of a friend that was addicted to drugs.
Okay.
Um, and I could see how much it was affecting her, and she was really upset about it. And so I wanted to sort of put myself in her shoes and how she was feeling. Because I've known people that have suffered from different kinds of addiction, and it's been very tough. So I wanted to see what it was like from her perspective anyway. So um, it's all about, again, it's about the feeling of that person is suffocating, and I mean, one of the final lines of the song is "I hate it when you're high." It's
Okay.
as simple as that. It's the title of the song, because it's such a powerful thing. Because that when somebody's addicted to something, and there's really nothing you can do. There's nothing you can say that's gonna uh, that's going to change it. You can't help. You feel defenseless. You feel helpless.
Yeah.
And that was what the feeling that she was trying to get across to me.
So in that situation, I guess you heard the story, and as you're an actor as well, yeah, I guess you kind of got into the role and you wrote based on, being in that role of the
Yeah,
friend of that person.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely an important thing. Um, Empathy. I think I'm quite an empathetic person. I'm a good listener, I suppose, as well. People come to me with stuff, and and it's interesting because it's a very emotional thing, and to be able to put that into a song, I think is quite a special thing to be able to do.
Okay. Okay, let's talk about the big one. Because in February, you suddenly announced something which was, I think, multiple levels of bombshell. So, first of all, you played in a movie.
Yeah,
Uh, that movie was about Bob Marley. And in that movie, you played The Clash.
yeah,
And I was trying to figure out what is going to shock me first. So, first of all, congratulations. It's really a big deal, isn't it?
yeah.
Um,
Thank you, thank
how
you.
did that come about?
So yeah, it was wild. It was a very, very wild time. So I went to drama school. It's how me, Will, and Clay all met. We're all actors.
Hmm.
Um, so I've just been looking for. I was looking for acting jobs. I didn't have an agent at that time.
Hmm.
Um, and this thing popped up, and it said they're looking for a band to. So no, that was not true. They were looking for a musician to play a part in an upcoming feature film. Didn't know what the film was.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that sounds cool. So I auditioned for it, and they really liked me. So they sent me a message saying, "We've looked into you. We've seen that you're also in a band. Would your band members be interested in auditioning as well?" So of course they were, definitely. So I pushed them forward for that. They auditioned for it, um, and that's when they said what the part was. So I was initially auditioning for Joe Strummer, who is the frontman of the Clash.
Yeah.
Um, and I worked on that part for I don't know how many weeks, quite a while, until we got to like the final round of auditions, and they were like, "Yeah, we really really like you." Um, they it was between I think it was between myself and Joe Sam Palladio, who ended up playing Joe Strummer. Um, and they really liked me, and they wanted me to play Mick Jones, which was an honor, obviously, because they're such an incredible band, such an influential band, and band that I've looked up to since I don't even remember how old, you know. Um, so that was really really cool. And I remember where I was when I got the phone call. Actually, that we'd got the part. I was sat in Will's living room, and it was like I don't know 6 7 a.m. Will was in the shower, and I get this phone call. I'm like, and she says, "Hi, Luke. Yeah, the production really really liked you. They thought you've now been offered the role." And I didn't know what to think. I think I started just, like screaming up the stairs to Will, who was like in the shower. He had no idea what was going on. It was very funny. Um, and then I called my mum, and my mum was, I think she got quite emotional and got a bit emotional on the phone. But yeah, it was an incredible experience.
You
Really
were offered
surreal.
the role, you mean as a band?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We all got offered the role at the same time, at the exact same time.
I guess that then the initial plan from their side was different, and then they realized you're a member of a band, so um, yeah, let's get all of them in as a band.
Exactly. Because it was like the cohesion, and they wanted something that would be believable on stage, people that worked with each other before, that sort of thing.
But you had to reshuffle the band a little bit to look more similar to the Clash.
Yeah, for this one, yeah. Because it was just me, Will, and Finn that did it. Uh, and I struggled so much at the start because I'm okay at the guitar, I'm not too bad. Um, but I'm not a lead guitarist. I don't claim, definitely don't claim to be a lead guitarist.
Okay.
So I worked with the guitar tech on set quite a lot and the rehearsal stuff. Um, and who helped me out. He was brilliant. We worked with some vocal coaches and all sorts of people. It was, yeah, brilliant experience.
So you mean everything that was heard in all the music in the movie, you played in the scene, right? It wasn't like a playback.
So yeah, there was an element of playback. I mean, I think they used a bit of both. Um, Obviously for the scene itself was quite a small scene. I mean, it's like like a cameo role, I suppose, if you like. Um, but we recorded stuff. And I think they used a bit of both. They may have just used the playback. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. What the final result was. Um, but yeah, when we were doing it, we everything we did live, and there was obviously a click in the background that we play to, and
Yeah.
to make sure everything's in time with the scene, and um, but yeah, and obviously everything had to sort of fit in because there was another scene going on at the same time with Kingsley who played Bob. So we'll have that to make that all fit together. But yeah, in terms of the timing for the scene, but yeah.
And you had to keep that secret for a year. That must have been hard.
Definitely. Yeah, it really, really was. Because you just like it was such a almost like a fever dream. You didn't expect anything like that to be really going to happen.
Yeah.
Um, we got to work with some amazing people, and I wanted to just tell everyone, I wanted to just tell everyone. But I prefer it's a much better surprise, when something as exciting as that you can be like, yeah, I did that after the fact, and people
I
go,
mean,
what? Wait.
when you've played in such a movie, I mean, you're totally entitled to name dropping. So please feel free to start dropping names of people you've met.
So, um, when uh when we obviously we had a few rehearsal sessions, and so we met all of the crew, all the camera crew, were introduced to everyone, um, and one of the producers comes up to us and says, yeah, so we're gonna put you on the phone with the director, and this is the first time we ever spoke to the director, which was at the rehearsal, obviously after we got the part. And the director's obviously he was in LA, I think, at the time. And it's Ronaldo Marcus Green, who was the director of King Richard with Will Smith, who won an Oscar for it, and yeah, he's worked on lots of amazing productions. So that was pretty cool. That was the first, I suppose, big name that we spoke to on the day. But the thing is with stuff like this, there are so many people obviously on set every day. You're working with people that have been a big part of the film industry for such a long time that you just don't know their names. Um, so probably we probably came across lots of different people. I mean, Brad Pitt was um one of the producers. The Marley family. I met Ziggy Marley on the day of the shoot,
Okay.
because he was there for most of it, actually. Um, and he was such a nice guy. I only spoke to him very, very briefly, but that was really cool to meet somebody, obviously a part of Bob's family, um, his son. It's yeah, that was again pretty surreal. Um, and then Kingsley, such a nice guy, amazing guy. He was in character for most of it, so he put on the patois accent when we met him. But he came over to us, shook all of our hands after we did our scene, and he was like, "Yeah, you guys were so cool. You guys killed it." I was like, "Wow, that's crazy." Because I'm a big Peaky Blinders fan.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite TV shows. And obviously he was in Peaky Blinders a few years ago, a few seasons. I think it was like season 4 or season 3 that he was in. So that was quite a cool moment for me that he came up and he was like, "Yeah, you were really, really cool." I was like, "Wow." It was very special. We get like crazy special feeling.
Yeah. I mean, I watched the movie in the cinema. There may be things that I've missed, but I think you played White Riot, but it wasn't really explained in the movie. You just had to know the song and know that that looks like the Clash, and you
Mm.
know, understand it from your own knowledge.
Hmm. Yeah, there was, I
Or
think
hear
that,
from the Ariston that they play that role.
say again, sorry.
Or hear the announcement from the Ariston.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. So there were a few. They really didn't want any leaks. They were very, very particular about the leaks. Because we shot it all in London. Um, and it's a nod really to the Clash, because the Clash um were heavily inspired by Bob Marley.
Yeah.
Um, and they wrote a lot of reggae, I suppose, inspired songs, which was the first time that anybody really heard that in rock music. Uh, they wanted to keep everything very, very secret. So it's more of a like a nod, an acknowledgement to the Clash.
Yeah.
In the little cameo part that we did. Uh, but yeah, they wanted to keep everything very, 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 very quiet under wraps. I remember because where we shot it at a venue called the Garage in London, which is a very quite popular. Um, it's literally the building next door to the Grace, the building next door in London. And obviously it's a main road, and we were walking through the next to the train station. And they were trying to cover us all up so nobody could really see what was going on. It was, yeah, very cool.
Have you kept any props, any souvenirs from the set?
So I worked on a few different shoots, and some of them don't mind you taking stuff. Um, but for this one, what I really, really wanted to take home was the guitar that I used.
Okay.
So it was so cool. They made it just for me. Just like they did Will's as well. Will's was like specially done for him to like be a proper replica of what they would have used. But unfortunately, they wouldn't allow it, unfortunately. I really wanted to just like walk off with it and nobody noticed, but no, there was quite a big deal. I don't know what they've done with it since. I think the prop guy said it's going to be put into some warehouse. I was like, let me take it
Give
off
it
your
to me.
hand. Fine. But no, unfortunately for this one, no.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Any plans to play another band in another movie?
I mean, look, never say never. I would love to do it. I'd love to do it again. There are so many. I mean, because it's a big thing now. Lots of music not documentaries, biopics are happening now. You've got obviously the Bob Marley one, Amy Winehouse, Timothy Chalamet's playing Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Yeah.
You never know what the future could hold for that, I suppose. But I would love to. I would absolutely love to.
Yeah. Um, okay. Let's talk about new tracks and new music.
Mm,
I think the only recorded release you have at the moment is Yellow Lines, isn't it?
correct. Yeah.
And recently you posted pictures on social media from a recording studio. You said you have new tracks. So obviously you're cooking something. So what
Yeah.
can you tell us?
Yeah. So yeah, we've been working with at our studio in Kent. And we're working on lots of new music with some very exciting people. I must say there are some very cool names that have approached us and been like, yeah, we want to work with you guys. Um, so that's all to come, I suppose. We've recorded a few. We're going back soon to go and record some more. Because we've got so much material. And it's another chance for us to give back to the fans that have been following us for the past 2 years, and it means the world to us. I mean, people that have, from the UK, and we've managed to build up a following European fan base, which is crazy to us to even think that would be a possibility. So these tracks that are coming soon
Okay.
can hopefully fulfill that little gap, I suppose, since Yellow Lines, because obviously Yellow Lines was such a big deal for us. But yeah.
Yeah. So I guess you're going to have at some point you will have a good collection of studio songs, studio recordings,
Yeah,
which I guess will also add to your set list, right? Will give you
sure.
better live shows.
For sure. Oh, 100%. I mean, like I said before, that's the biggest part of our um of being a band for us. It's the live performance and making it the best it possibly can be for the audience. And obviously of course that comes with the songs and people they can go away and listen to them. And yeah, that's it's a big thing for us, definitely.
Okay. Are you planning to release singles or maybe an EP, maybe an album? Have you figured it out yet?
To be honest, no, not really. I mean, probably realistically, it'll probably be singles for the time being. I think we're a while I can't speak, a while of a way off an album for sure. I mean, an EP would be fun. An EP definitely would be very fun. I'd love to do an EP, another proper studio EP. But I think realistically, it'd probably be singles for the time being. Yeah.
So, as a band, what are your plans and your ambitions in the near future, like for the rest of this year, next couple of years? What are your ambitions? What do you want to achieve?
So, I mean, hopefully kick started by the new music. We want festival season to be as big as it can be.
Mhm.
We've been booked for a few really cool festivals. And that's where we see ourselves. We see ourselves on festival stages. Like I said, it's about the audience. It's always about the audience for us, and the people that the consumers of the tracks and stuff. So festivals for us are the biggest thing.
Okay.
We've got also some announcements to make in the coming weeks, I want to say, about um new festival announcements, which is very exciting. Um, but also, I mean, this is now me just sort of speculating. This is what I want to happen.
Okay.
Um, we wanna go out and do like this big European tour. I mean, who doesn't want to do that? That'd be the coolest thing in the world, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But if we can go, I don't know, to a couple of European countries that we know that people that out there like our music, and we've got a few bands that we've been speaking to
Okay.
um, that may be on board with that as well, which is crazy. Another crazy thing to think, but yeah, that's the dream for the next year or so, year and a half.
So you have a lot of fans from Europe. So that it makes total sense to have more releases, more studio recordings to be able to give something to those fans because obviously they're not going to most of them will not come to your live shows unless you go to them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, a lot. I mean, it's a lot of some of them do travel, and we played a couple shows where um people have traveled from Amsterdam, from Czech, like back to back. We played shows in maybe the space of a week or so, and people have the people that have flown to do that, which yeah.
Incredible.
But now we want to go back and do it for them.
Yeah. And do you have any specific priorities about where you want to make progress as a band, um, like how you want to improve yourselves?
100%. I mean but that I think that comes in everything, in every part of what we do. There's always a place where we can um improve and learn. I mean, for the state, for the shows, there's always I mean, I'm the harshest critic of myself, particularly. Um I always want to make something better if I can, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
it makes most sense. But also when it comes to songwriting, I have a lot of different influences. And I think that will sort of start to show more as the tracks we recorded eventually come out. But the stuff that we've been working on, especially at the moment,
Yeah.
there's a big variety of different genres, um, which I think is quite exciting. It shows progression, and yeah, that's something that we also pride ourselves on, is that we're not just sort of stuck to one area. It's multiple different things that we can do, but it's always learning and sort of keeping that up.
You're a rock band, but of course, rock is not one thing. So
Mm.
how would you describe yourselves as a band?
So I- I'd say alternative rock with a bit of grunge, a bit of indie. Your guess is as good as mine, to be honest. I mean,
Okay.
I don't really know if I'm being honest. But I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. So you don't fall into one bracket. You can do as many things as you want. I mean, for example, Bring Me the Horizon. They do a lot of they've got metal tracks, they've got pop tracks where they've worked with people like Ed Sheeran, they've got rock tracks, they've got a whole different catalog, and that's something that we sort of want to be able to have in the next 10 years, for example.
Yeah.
Just a big catalog of different tracks.
Do you have similar influences between you?
For the most part, yeah. For the most part, um, in for me, I listen to indie rock, I listen to slightly harder rock, I listen to grunge, I listen to pop. Um, I used to listen to rap actually a little bit back in the day, but I can't see myself rapping on stage. Probably not. No, not anytime soon. Clay and Will and Finn are pretty much the same. Pretty much the same as me. We listen to pretty much the same stuff. Clay listens to the more to harder stuff. Clay likes the metal. He likes the rock, jazz, blues. And he incorporates that into his guitar playing for sure.
Yeah.
So for the most part, we do listen to a lot of stuff, but I think Clay's got the he's on the harder end, I suppose, of music. Thank you very much. Yeah,
I think that's probably good for a lead guitar player, isn't it?
100%, definitely,
Do you
very
feel
important.
you found your sound as a band, or are you still experimenting? I mean, from what you said before, I think you probably haven't.
Um, I think for the time being, we have a good idea of what it could be. I can't really put it into words, um, because Clay is our he's one of our producers at the moment. So he has a probably much more concrete idea even than I do. Um, but when I'm writing stuff, I don't have any like a particular idea, like a particular genre, I suppose, in mind. Um, but I think that will come. Yeah. So it's sort of up in the air. It's a bit of a vague answer to be honest with you, but yeah.
Okay. Um, do you live close to each other? Do you get together regularly, like daily?
Um, we don't live no, we don't really live too close to each other. I mean, I'm nearish Heathrow Airport.
Okay.
Clay lives in Kent. Finn lives in deeper Winchester and deeper Surrey. Will lives in the again deeper Surrey. But we all sort of congregate at Finn's house. Oh, laptop's freezing. Ooh, still there? Yeah, cool. Yeah, so we're sort of all over the place, but we all go to meet at Finn's house to rehearse. Um, or if we're not at Finn's house, we'll be at the studio, which is in Kent, which is near Clay. So it's
Like
yeah.
regularly, daily, weekly, something like that.
Um, well, we try to do like 2, 3 times a week.
Okay.
Realistically, it's more 2 times a week. Unless we're in the studio, then we could be in the studio for I don't know 4 or 5 days at a time. It all sort of just depends.
You mentioned, three of you were actors and you met at drama school. So I guess the three of you were the initial band, and before it became the Ariston. So tell me a little bit about the story, how it all started, and how it developed.
So yeah, like I said, so we're all actors, and we spend a lot of time in our breaks in our free periods. Just we'd go to a music room and just play a few tunes. It was mostly like Arctic Monkeys tracks that we'd play, and I'd sing along.
Okay.
And neither me nor Will could really play a whole lot of guitar at that point, to be honest. So it was more on Clay to sort of give us. He's a very, very good guitarist. He used to play all sorts. Um, and then we finished the drama school, and fortunately, we all ended up in the same area. Clay went off to a music university, so he could continue doing his guitar stuff, but he could start producing and sound engineering, which is what he does now. And I went to a drama school that was literally 5 minutes away. And Will lived a further 10 minutes away from that. He didn't go to uni. Um, but we all sort of, yeah, we fell into the same spot, and that's where we then met Finn, our drummer, at Clay's music uni, ACM. And then we sort of all formed like that, really. It was all right place at the right time, I think.
Okay. Did you play between the three of you before you met Finn?
Yeah, actually we did. We went to Clay's house in the summer. Um and we really wanted to really wanted to give it a try. So we went to his house, and we all there's a recording somewhere on my phone. I have no idea if I still got it. Of us playing really, really badly to a load of different cover songs. We hadn't written anything at that point. Um, but I think like a month after that, Yellow Lines happened.
Okay. So it was that early.
Yeah. It was that early. Yeah, a month, maybe 2 months after that, Yellow Lines happened, and we all started writing songs from that. I mean, Yellow Lines and another one of our tracks called Closer Honey
Hmm.
was written about the same night. So it actually happened on the same evening. So that just shows you how much of a messed up
You
place I
you
spent my
wrote
head.
both.
Yeah. At the same time, pretty much.
So basically, those two tracks like triggered the idea of becoming a band or pushed it.
Definitely pushed it. Definitely pushed it. Um, because we Yellow Lines, I believe, came first. Um, and we were like, yeah, there's something here, and we always want. I mean, music has always been a big part of all of our lives. So we wanted to give it a try and see what happened, and people seemed to like it. You know, people got along with it, and they could relate to the tracks, and that was the most important thing for us at the time.
But that wasn't the initial plan, right? The initial plan was individually, each one of you, I'm going to become an actor. Then you met, and then you met Finn, and you realized now we have a complete band, so let's do this.
Exactly. That's literally. I couldn't have put it better myself. That's pretty much the situation. Yeah,
Okay.
lucky. Again, right place, the right time. I mean, Finn. We think the whole situation with Finn is it's bizarre because Finn he was perfect. He was brilliant. Um, and we look back now because it just seems like it was meant to be. I mean, after how long after we met Finn, we then go off to Italy to record a demo? Like, yeah, crazy. I don't know. I still can't get over it.
Now, three of you play guitar, right? Will is the bassist, but he plays guitar as well.
Yeah.
So, do you have any between you? Do you have any preferences or even obsessions with certain guitars?
Oh, certain as in guitar like makes and models and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Oh, that's a good question. So I am very much. I love my telly.
yeah.
It's pretty new. I've had it for about nearly a year, I think, maybe slightly over a year. But I've always loved Telecasters. Because I used to watch rock bands on TV, and all the frontman would always have a telly, and I was like, they look really, really cool. And people say, oh, they don't sound as good as some things, but they're for me, they're my favorite. I love to look at them, and when I got my new one, I was very chuffed.
Yeah.
I was pleased with myself because I wanted it for a
They
long
have a
time.
unique sound, don't they? And
Really
I've
do.
also noticed a lot of musicians seem to play a Telecaster, which has only two single pickups.
Yep.
So I, I I never understood why it makes it so special for so many big musicians.
Yeah. I mean, again, that's sort of that's an interesting thing because Clay is very different. Clay, he has a few his guitar collection is insane. Like he's got, I don't know, 50. I've lost count of how many guitars he's got. He's got a few tellies. He's got a few Strats. Um, but his two go-to guitars really at the moment are his PRS Vela, which is he loves that guitar. He plays that. That's what he's been playing for quite a few of our shows. And his Gibson Les Paul. I don't even know what model it is. Um, but those are his two go-to, well, at least for the Ariston.
Yeah.
And Will, what's Will got? He's got he's got a couple Strats at home, I think, as well. But he loves to steal my telly because it's a great guitar.
Okay. Uh, what we can do, since the other guys were not available today, I think we can do like an additional part when the other members are available.
100%.
And there may be some more interesting stuff. I don't know if you guys will have something
Yeah.
new that is not ready to announce now.
Yeah, so hopefully by that point we'll have some new music to talk about. Fingers crossed.
New music.
Yeah.
We can like hear a demo or something.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. We could. I'm sure we could sort out a demo listen for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, sounds promising.
Yeah.
Let's say yeah, this is the end of part one. Let's put it this way. We'll be back with the full band, and
Brilliant.
there will be possibly a demo of a new song.
Possibly a demo. There we go. Thank you very much for having me, man. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time, and yeah, looking forward to see what you guys will have for the rest of the year. Does it look busy at the moment from the things you're
It's
planning?
looking, yeah, it's looking fairly busy. I mean, we've got like I said, the festival stuff, the tracks, again going back to go and record, and then hopefully some big shows at the end of the year. Fingers crossed.
Okay.
Uh,
So thank
with
you very
some
much. It was a really nice conversation with
yeah,
a bit of a revelation in the end that we'll come back with something very interesting.
yeah,
So yeah, let's see when you guys are ready, and yeah, we'll do part two.
brilliant. Thank you so much.